Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. A common question that I get asked by my clients and you, my followers, is I've been taking these supplements for an X amount of time. Why don't I feel better? Why aren't they working? So today I want to share with you four main reasons why you might not be feeling a difference when you are supplementing with natural remedies. And the first thing is you might not be absorbing them. So when we take a supplement, we need to get the herbs or the homeopathics or whatever we're taking to absorb through our gut lining into the bloodstream. But then we don't just want it in the blood. We need it to get from our bloodstream actually into our cells. So, for example, if you take a vitamin or a mineral, if you just have vitamins and minerals floating around the blood, it's not doing much, right? We need it in our cells where it can help to push different processes and metabolic, processes and hormones and things forward. So we need them to be stored in different parts of the body. If they are not only not absorbing into our cells, but also not absorbing into the blood, we are not going to get the benefit of them. And this also comes from eating nutritious foods. Even if you're eating super healthy, if you have bad gut health or gut inflammation, you might not actually be absorbing the nutrition from the food you're eating. And so even if you're eating really healthy, you might not feel much better. So that's a first really important point here, is that first of all, we need absorption of the nutrition, whether it's through supplements or food, into the cells, not just the bloodstream. And then we also need to have proper gut health in order for this to happen. So bringing down gut inflammation first is a key part here. Clearing out pathogens and toxins from the gut, strengthening the gut lining, and improving our digestion. So the stomach, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the liver. This is going to help us actually break down not just the foods, but the supplements we're eating, and then convert them into and break them down, first of all, into smaller particles and easy to absorb particles, but then also from there store them and place them where they need to be. So if you feel like you've been taking supplements for a while, but you also have gas and bloating or pathogenic overgrowth or some kind of gut issues, there's a good chance you're just not absorbing them. What I do with my clients is I work in 3 phases. The first phase is we rid the body, mainly the gut, especially of pathogens and toxins, of inflammation. We then repair the gut and other parts of the body. Then we start to replace. And in the replace phase is where we really start to bring in a lot of the nutritional supplements like vitamins and minerals and things like that. Because if you do try to supplement with those things too early on in your healing journey or your health journey, you might not be actually getting much support from them. You might not be absorbing them. And so you'll just eliminate them through your stool, and you're not going to, get much of a result from that. So if that's what's happening here, I would say work with a practitioner. They can help guide you on what to take. But if you're trying things on your own, definitely make sure your gut health and digestion is on point before you try to take too many supplements. Now, the other thing that I want to mention, the next thing that could be a factor here is competition. That's not even a word. Okay, I'm literally losing my brain here. Is competing. Competition, I don't even know. Okay, so competing. Different supplements will compete for absorption. So I'm not going to list them all here because there's way too many interactions with different supplements, and this is where working with a practitioner can help. But typically, for example, you don't want to take too many minerals and vitamins together, because your body can only absorb and utilize so much at one point, and they will compete for absorption. So if you're taking iron and magnesium and calcium and then a bunch of vitamins and things like that, you're going to be absorbing very, very, very little of each. So you're not going to have a lot of an absorption into the blood and into the cells, because again, these are competing for absorption. So the best thing to do is, I'm not a huge fan of multivitamins. You want to be ideally taking things like as a single. So taking magnesium, maybe with a calcium on its own, rather than taking a multivitamin that has 20 or 30 different vitamins and minerals in it, because your chance of absorption is so much higher. Now, it's not to say you can't take a multivitamin. There are times where I do recommend it for my clients, but I find most of the time you're not absorbing much of what you're actually supplementing with. The majority is eliminated through your stool or your urine, which is kind of unfortunate if you're spending a lot of money, especially on high quality supplements. So definitely look into breaking things down. There's also some herbs that are high in tannins. Black walnut, for example. There's a few more, milk thistle, things like that, where you want to be taking them away from food and supplements for the most part, because they will prevent absorption of vitamins and minerals into the gut. So if you're taking a black walnut with a multivitamin, you're not going to absorb much of the multivitamin because the black walnut is preventing absorption because of the tannins into the bloodstream and into the cells. And so you want to be taking things like that separate. So I usually separate herbs and I separate nutritionals like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. And I break up the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants so that you're not taking too much at once. The liver can also get overloaded, guys. The liver processes almost everything we take, our herbs, our vitamins, minerals, fats. If you're taking too much at one time, the liver can't handle all that. And so most of it will just get eliminated. So break things up. Try not to combine too many herbs and nutritionals together. Take smaller formulations. Those might help. The third thing is being on a poor quality supplement. So I see this time and time again, especially with my clients when they come working with me. They say, I've tried everything and nothing has worked. And then I start to go into what they've actually tried, and I realize that a lot of what they've tried is not working because of the quality of the supplements. Unfortunately, with supplements, you get what you pay for. Now, I know they are so expensive. When I was on my healing journey, I spent upwards of $50,000 to try and fix my health. But I spent that because over several years, but I spent that because I knew in the beginning I was on those low quality supplements, the ones you can find at Costco, like Kirkland or the Johnson brand. Now, I'm not trying to throw brands under, the rug here, but at the end of or under the bus, under the rug, whatever. But at the end of the day, some supplements just are not going to absorb. If they are poor quality, if there's tons of fillers in the ingredients and everything else, you're not actually going to absorb the high quality minerals. Now, another thing, if you buy a poor quality supplement, you're probably getting, let's talk about magnesium, for example. You're going to be probably getting a magnesium citrate, which has horrible absorption rate. You're not going to absorb much of it. It might cause you to have diarrhea or loose stools because it's staying in the colon. It's not absorbing into the blood. But you're not going to actually replenish your magnesium stores. And so you're spending money, you're spending less, but you're also kind of pooping or peeing it out, and you're not really getting the benefits of it. So in the end, you're spending more because you're on that supplement longer and you're not really getting results. Whereas you spend a bit more for like a magnesium glycinate that's from a high quality brand that does not have a ton of additives and fillers, so you can actually absorb the ingredient, and you'll end up replenishing your magnesium deficiency over time and feeling a lot better. So there's different forms of vitamins and minerals and amino acids and everything like that. The cheaper brands are going to put the cheapest form in there, and they're going to stuff it with fillers like magnesium stearate, carrageenan, and all kinds of, other ingredients to beef up the product. And at the same time, if you look on the back of the label, so you take a cheap product versus an expensive, higher quality brand, and you look at the same supplement, so take a magnesium glycinate, for example, from a cheap company versus a more expensive one. If you look on the back, usually the dosage is lower. So you're going to have the cheaper brand, maybe 100 milligrams of whatever supplement you're looking at, whereas a high quality brand, you might have 500 milligrams or something like that. So you're getting more, you're paying more, but you're getting higher quality and you're getting more of the product, which brings me to my next point number 4, and I have a bonus point 5 as well. Point number 4 is dosing. You need a therapeutic dose for the supplement to actually work. So you could be taking a cheap product that has maybe 100 milligrams. Say we're trying to do, I don't know, let's talk about magnesium still. Say we're trying to take a magnesium, and say your practitioner says you need 500 milligrams of magnesium. If you buy a cheap brand, you're going to spend less, but you're going to be on way more capsules, because to get the 500 milligrams, you're going to need 5 capsules. Sometimes I've seen products that have like 50 milligrams of magnesium, which does nothing for you. So if you're going to be on 50 milligrams of magnesium, that's 10 capsules to get the dose that a high quality brand would have in probably 1 or 2 capsules. So again, you're spending less money, but in the long run, you're spending more because you're going through the bottle quicker. It's a cheaper product, so you're not going to absorb it as much. It's probably going to cause some gut inflammation from all the additives. And at the end of the day, you're just going to be spending the same amount, if not more, in the long run. So again, when you choose a high quality product, a lot of times there's that higher dose, which is what we call the therapeutic dose. Now it goes beyond this. I have products that I use with my clients, and I always sometimes will have them take higher than the recommended bottle dosage for certain things, even homeopathics, because the dose typically is much lower than what the body needs. We live in a world where people are so depleted and so deficient because our food supply has nothing nourishing left in it, unless you're growing your own food. And we're exposed to so many toxins and chemicals that uses up antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals in our body so fast. And most of us have bad diets anyway, where we're not really getting a proper profile of nutrients. And so we are so depleted. To really fix that deficiency, you need a much higher dose typically to replenish. So another reason why you might not be feeling any different on a supplement is you are just not taking enough of a dose. And I'll give you guys an example. I specialize with autoimmune clients, people with skin issues or, gut issues. I work with everyone really, but those are where I focus. And so a lot of the clients that obviously see me have a lot of inflammation. So I'll give you an example of a client recently that came to me, and she was saying to me, when we did our protocol, and two things I recommended for her were a SPM fish oil. A SPM fish oil is just one that has higher antioxidant status, so it doesn't create inflammation. That's for a different video. I said, you're going to do an SPM fish oil, and I'm going to get you on a glutathione and a fish oil, and there was a bunch of other supplements, but those were three supplements. And she said, oh, but I've already been on a fish oil and glutathione and even like the curcumin, and I didn't feel any different, and I'd been on it for months. So right away I asked her, how much are you taking? And she was taking like 50 milligrams, I think, of each, which is super, 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 super low. So I said to her, there's no way you're going to get a benefit of, this product if you're taking such a low dose. We need to do much higher. Sure enough, literally within 3 or 4 days of doing the much higher dose, sorry, my camera keeps shaking, guys. But within a few days of her doing the higher dose, she emails me and says, oh my goodness, I'm already feeling like 1,000 times better just doing the therapeutic dose. So that could be a problem here, is if you're finding you're taking stuff, you're not really feeling better, you probably need to do a higher dose. But don't ever do a higher dose unless you check with your doctor or practitioner, because sometimes it can displace other minerals, other vitamins in the body. If you do too high of a dose of certain herbs, it can stress the liver. So it's always important, if you're not sure what you're doing, to work with someone who does. But that's just another example of why a supplement might not be working for you. Now, the last bonus one, number 5, is you're using the wrong remedies. There's so much that goes on. Specifically, I know a lot of you have autoimmune or some kind of chronic inflammatory process in the body or condition. That's where my follower base mainly is at. So I'll touch on that, but this applies to everyone. If you have an autoimmune, there's so much happening with your immune system that people do not realize in the background. You could take a vitamin C, and that could affect 1,000 different immune cells that actually tip you more into the inflammatory side and actually can make you flare. Same thing goes for vitamin D. If you have a deficiency in the wrong type of vitamin D in the conversion of the kidney or the liver, and you start supplementing with vitamin D when you don't need it, it actually can tip you more towards the inflammatory side and can cause inflammation. Some people will be on vitamin A for their autoimmune, but if it's the wrong type of immune imbalance that you have for vitamin A that you're taking, it can actually cause you to flare. And there's so much that happens in the background that people don't realize. So there really is no one size fits all approach. When you're working on your health, you should be, doing the remedies that are right for you, for your chemical and biological process. So I know sometimes people are like, online it says to take this, and this if you have this condition. And while it might help the majority of people, if your body's a little bit off from the average person in terms of your balance of immune cells and things like that, it might be the wrong supplement for you and could actually be keeping you flared up, or at least prevent you from seeing results. So at the end of the day, if you have gotten high quality supplements and you're using high quality supplements, your gut's absorbing them because you have great gut health, you're taking a good dose, high enough dose, and all of that, and you're using the right form of the supplements as well, so not a cheap form, and you're still not getting results, you're probably taking the wrong remedies. And that's really where it would benefit you financially in the long run to probably work with a practitioner, because they will be like, this is exactly what you need to do to get where you need to be. And so in the long run, yes, you'll pay money up front, you're going to pay the person to work with them, you're going to pay for the supplements, but in the long run, it's going to save you tons of trial and error and stress and pain, and also money, because in the long run, you're going to be spending less because you're using the right remedies. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some scenarios in which the supplements that you're using might not be working for you. I'm making this video because I see a lot of people say, I've tried the natural route, didn't work, and then they give up and kind of, stop trying. And that breaks my heart because a lot of it's something as simple as it's the wrong form of the supplement, it's a cheap brand, or it's not a high enough dose, or something like that, and it's an easy fix. So don't give up too soon. At the end of the day, again, if you're stuck, you don't know what to do, you can reach out to a practitioner. I'm currently actually accepting new clients and I would love to work with you. I do only work with clients who live in Canada or the US. So if that's you and you're interested in working with me, you can click the links in the description box below to see what I do, my contact info, it's all there. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, holistic remedies can work and they can work beautifully. They just have to be done in the right way, the right ratio. And I just beg you to not be using cheap quality supplements. It's always quality over quantity. You can get 500 capsules of something or 60 capsules of something, but if this is a high quality, right dose, better form, it's all you need compared to the 500. You're just throwing supplements in your body, you're stressing the gut and the liver to process it all, and you're eliminating it and not absorbing it. So don't go cheap with the supplements. Spend the money on a high quality brand. I know it can cost sometimes $80 for like one supplement, but it's so worth it when you see how well it can work in the body. I hope this helps, guys. If you have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments. I do try to get back to everybody if I can. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.